Welcome, dear students. Now I'm going to tell about the limitations of CGMS system and solution if possible. So, as you know that you are using this CGMS system uh, at commercial level in many crops. So you see, you must understand that what are the practical problems coming in utilizing the CGMS system for hybrid seed production. Of course, worldwide the system is being used for hybrid seed production. One by one we will be dealing and we will try to see that what can be done for each and every problem. The first one is cytoplasmic penalty. Of course, you have to keep in your mind that once you are transferring the abnormal cytoplasm in your material, in your genotype, this is going to create some problems along with. So, if you are able to bear those problems, then only you can commercialize your hybrid breeding program through that particular CMS lines. So the first one is the cytoplasmic penalty. What is this penalty, you say? If you see in maize, almost all the hybrid seed production in early days was being done by Texas cytoplasm. Of course, there was problem of the penalty was, you see, this Texas cytoplasm was retarding growth of F1 hybrids to some extent, yield reduction by 2 to 4%. And once it has become, the cytoplasm become susceptible to leaf blight, then it was problem, great problem. The breeders were able to bear the problems of retards the growth of F1s. What do you mean by retards the growth of F1 hybrids? Means if you are not using CMS lines and you are getting the hybrid of the same two parents manually, and if you are growing those, and if you are taking those same CMS same parents, two parents, by using through use of CMS lines, then you are getting the same hybrids as manually you have obtained, and you see the differences. You will be finding the growth of those hybrids, though both are the same hybrids, growth of those hybrids are retarded little bit. You are bearing that, and it was being accepted that it can be done once the yield potential is very high. Yield reduction is also 2 to 4%, means once you are not using CMS line, you are doing the manual hybrid seed production through detesting of the same hybrid, and once you are using CMS lines, so you are finding the difference between these two is around 2 to 4%. Doesn't matter. If the hybrid through CGMS system, let it be 2 to 4% lower, but if it is higher than other hybrids, then it is acceptable. That was okay. So once it has become susceptible to leaf blight, then it became problematic. either you uh, transfer the resistant genes into your cytoplasm, or you have to leave this Texas CMS. So fortunately, other CMS, here you can see the new CMS sources should be searched, as in case of maize, USDA CMS S that is called, and Charua CMS C it is called. These two systems are now being used for hybrid seed production in maize. So likewise, you have to search wherever you are getting the problems, major problem, cytoplasmic penalty, which you cannot bear, then you have to be ready with the new CMS sources in those crops. Like you see in case of brassicas, for hybrid seed production, once the Mori cytoplasm was being tried, what was happening? Mori cytoplasm produces chlorosis in F1 plants, so it was problematic. No hybrids can be used through Mori cytoplasm. It also reduces survival as well as the yield. So it is not at all possible to utilize Mori cytoplasm for hybrid seed production through CGMS system. So it was refined, and finally Morica India in mustard, particularly in Brassica gentiana. Now Morica India, which was from developed through from Morica India arvenish, it is now available and it is being commercially utilized for hybrid seed production in brassicas. So we have to be ready to have new source of CMS once you are getting the problems. So cytoplasmic penalty you are saying. Here I want to say that, as in case of rice I have already dealt, that cytoplasmic penalty, fortunately in rice it is giving the, say for example, as you have seen in Pusa 6A and Pusa 6B, both are same variety, isogenic lines. Once you have put the cytoplasm, sterile cytoplasm, the plant height is reduced. The flowering days is enhanced. Days to flowering is more. So you have to adjust with that. Fortunately, this reduced plant height is better, because to maintain the Pusa 6A, B line, if that isogenic line, maintainer line is having higher plant height, so pollen dispersal will be easier in that case. So that is also the problem. That can be adjusted, and that penalty is of course better for hybrid seed production in rice. Then you come to other limitation, unsatisfactory fertility restoration. You see, once you are, as I said, that identification of fertility in your genotypes, what you are observing, majority of the genotypes are coming in between partial restorer and partial maintainer. This is a great trouble in utilizing CGMS system. Of course, even then we are at very good stage of developing hybrids in almost all the crops. So of course this is problematic in searching the proper restored lines, but we have to bear with this unsatisfactory pollination. You see, unsatisfactory pollination, this is also a trouble. You see, particularly if you talk about self-pollinated crops like rice, it is very problematic. Of course, the cross-pollinated crops like maize, the pollen dispersal is not that much problem. But unsatisfactory pollination because of the CGMS system. You see, as I have described in my earlier videos, that you see in rice, once you are putting cytoplasmic cytoplasm in your material, the PUSA 6 normal, you have made it PUSA 6A, or HUR 105 normal, you have made it HUR 105A. So generally we are finding the problem of improper pollen exertion from the boot leaf. Whole panicule is not coming out of the boot leaf, and because of that, whatever portion is there which is out from the boot leaf, they are only able to receive the pollen grains, and that much seed setting will be there, and other portions of a panicule which is inside, they will not get pollination, and there will not be seed setting. So unsatisfactory pollination is there, and for that also what you are doing, that as I have said in hybrid rice seed production program, that we are spraying at the time of flowering, we are spraying gibberellic acid in A lines for proper panicule exertion. So you have to bear this also wherever problem you are facing. And of course, here I want to tell you a little story of my own experiment. That once we are screening large number of more than 100 numbers of genotypes for fertility restoration and other things, and of course once we are developing the hybrids, we are testing the heterosis percent also. So you are very happy once you are seeing the heterosis percent higher in many of the hybrids, then you are able to develop you will be willing to commercialize that hybrid. So I developed, I tested large number of genotypes, and among them around five hybrids I found promising. So I thought I should go to I'm telling you the story of 3-4 years back. What happened? This is very, very educative, I tell you. This is personal experience, you are not going to find it in the books. What happened? You see, so 5-6 hybrids were very promising, heterosis was very nice, economic heterosis very high. So I thought I am going to release 5-6 hybrids very soon after its all India testing. So I tried. I cannot produce hybrids with little resources, because in many of the centers in India, rice breeding program, apart from the rice breeder, many of the center where hybrid rice program is running, they are having separate hybrid rice breeder. Here neither I'm rice breeder nor I'm hybrid rice breeder. Here I'm a professor of genetics and plant breeding at BHU, and my mandate is teaching and guiding the students. That's all. But because of my interest, I'm trying to do and to develop the varieties and hybrids. So hybrid is very complicated, I tell you, and you see large number of research field is required, and much extensive concentrated program is required, which I don't have here because of my other duties, and because of less research field availability in our university, because this is not agriculture university. So of course, in the history of Banaras Hindu University, first I tried to develop the hybrids, and I could succeed. And of course, as I said, that 5-6 hybrids I have identified which are superior. My patent is available. There is no problem at any time that they can be tested and can be developed and released for the farming community. Once I get the fund and proper assistance with the human resources, I can go with that. So I want to tell you, I tried out of 5-6. I tried because of the limitations. I could try only 2 hybrids. I had in my objective that let us start with the 2 to send to produce the hybrid seed at least, which is required for all India coordinated trials in hybrids. So I tried for two most promising hybrids, the top 2 hybrids. So what happened? The top one, I could not get proper seed, and the second highest, I got a lot of seed. So I sent that in 2017. It is well documented in annual report of the Indian Rice Research Institute ACRIP trials. In 2017, you can go and see at many of the centers, many multinationals, along with hybrids of many multinationals that has surpassed the yield potential at many centers. And being long cylinder type, very good quality, grain type, yield potential. But as I said, that because of the limitations and many more things, I could not proceed with that. So I have patents, I have the parental lines with me. As soon as I get the facilities, man, material, everything, I can go with that. So now I'm concentrating on development of drought tolerant rice as well as biofortified rice, means developing high zinc and high varieties in rice. So you see what happened to, I wanted to tell you the story as I said, what happened as I tried to top yielding heterotic hybrids for its all India trial. The first topmost, I could not get seed. Then I went to the field to see what has happened with my technician and other things. So what was the major problem with the highest yielding hybrid, which I thought that I will be developing the highest yielding hybrid in India. So what happened? Because this was the problem. We have to foresee these things also. We have to keep in our mind. I missed that thing because of the large number of crosses made. I could not see the parental lines. What happened to that? You see, when I saw properly its problem, what is happening, why seed is not produced. What was the problem? You see, in that case, the R line which I was having, the male parent, which was having the R gene, was shorter in height than the A line. This was A line and this was my R line. So let it be the highest yielding, let it be high heterotic, let it be everything. Because of this problem, pollination, how pollen will go from this to this. Of course, I'm keeping in my mind, because this is the best hybrid, I can increase through repeated backcrossing. I can try to increase the plant height, and then we can utilize the heterosis hybrid development. So here I wanted to tell you my personal story, that because of this unsatisfactory this pollination, it happens. You have to keep in your mind while using this CGM system to commercialize. Then you see spontaneous reversion. You see, this is also coming to trouble you. Spontaneous reversion, what do you mean with this? You see, spontaneous reversion, if you talk, you go back to spontaneous mutation. Through mutation, you have obtained the wild abortive cytoplasm in rice. As you know that thousands and thousands CMS plants you are growing, so many of them are trying to convert to normal situation. This is the natural process. Once the mutation has occurred, so mutation wish to revert back sometimes. And because of that, when you are producing hybrid seed or you are maintaining the parental line A line, you will be troubled with this also. So don't worry for that, because once it is converting, if it is PUSA 6A you are growing, and if it is going to convert a plant out of 1,000 plants, one plant is converting back. So converting back means PUSA 6A you are growing, it is going to become PUSA 6B. So definitely everything is similar, but plant height will be different. The B line will be taller than the A line, and everything is similar, looking similar. And B line will be earlier in days to flowering. So you can detect it very easily, and you have to be very serious about this, that this is happening. So you have to, while seed production program, you have to be vigilant to row it out at proper stage before flowering. So you can see once you are seeing the off type means in A line, B line is coming. So you remove them. You have to row it out. Yeah, in CGMS system, modifier genes, of course, this is there. Sometimes once you are putting a cytoplasm for developing new CMS lines, in many cases, though that cytoplasm is there, going to that, giving the male sterility, but proper, because that cytoplasm is being, because of the background of your recurrent parent, if background is not proper and the modifier genes are there, then your CMS is converted. So in that case, you don't use that particular cross, you don't use that particular parent, where modifier genes are creating more problem. Once your plant is becoming, showing the male sterility, you are going to start using, once you are going to start using, modifier genes are active and they are creating a lot of trouble, and partial fertility, partial sterility is observed. So don't use that particular parents where modifier genes are more creating more problem. Then come to contribution of cytoplasm from pollen. Yeah, it is also happening. And what is this? Because of these problems, pollen setters are coming in your A line. Pollen setters means they are converting into normal plant. They are having pollen grains. Those few plants are coming, whether by this, whether by this, whether by this. Sometimes you know that megaspore is giving the pollen grains. Megaspore is giving the cytoplasm. But sometimes it happens in few plants, maybe pollen grain has given the cytoplasm. What will happen? The fertile cytoplasm will be coming to your F1. So that F1 will be fertile. So that plant also coming in your field. Don't worry, don't be disturbed with these problems while working on commercial basis. You have to be ready, you vigilant to rogue it out, everything. Then this is also coming. In environmental fluctuation, you see. If much fluctuation is coming during the flowering period, that is also creating problem in pollen. Some of the plants will become fertile, so that will create problem. You see, in rice, the normal varieties, when I personally saw here in Banaras University itself, when I grew them at the stage when flowering coincided during May and June, April, May, June. Normal, I tell you, all normal varieties become male sterile. Not a single seed I could get in many of the lines. When flowering coincided during this high temperature period, which was going more than 40 degrees Celsius. During that, I could not get a seed in normal plants. So environmental fluctuation is very important. If environmental fluctuation is occurring in your area sometimes in some season, that creates problem. So you cannot do anything in this. Of course, if pollen setters are coming, because of these few pollen grains are normal plants are coming, pollen setters are coming, you have to roll it out. You have to be vigilant for that. Non-availability of restored lines. Of course, once you are trying hundreds and hundred genotypes, you are getting few only. Out of 100, you are getting 5, 6, 7, 8 or 10% full restored lines, which is real restored lines, which is even 5 to 6%, which is a stable restored line for majority of the CMS lines. What you are getting, few restored lines are showing full restoration with one CMS line, but the same restored line is unable to, because of these modifier genes, you are unable to get the full fertility. So there are very few lines which are universal, you can say, having the restored genes for each and every CMS lines. They are very few. So of course we have to search more and more and more, and we have to search the R lines. We have to exercise more and more for this problem. So being all these trouble, we have these solutions. We have to be cautious while utilizing at commercial level this CGMS system. And of course, once it is practically possible and commercially possible, yes, it is feasible. We are using it. Of course, if we are able to, as China is in rice, it is using 3-line system. We should also try to have, if it is possible, to go towards better system if possible. Thanking you very much.